it sort of like you expect because of how this run has gone since the play?
Yeah, it's the playoffs, number one. You expect it to be tough. Two, just because the regular season didn't go the way we wanted to go or other people wanted to go, doesn't mean that we weren't developing grit and tough habits and good things. So it wasn't just from the play-in. But we were expecting this game to be like this. It's going to be a cage fight. It's clean, competitive basketball. We have great respect for the Knicks and how they play, how they operate, how they compete. And they jumped on us in the first quarter. Because they do good things. They're very aggressive. But we just were able to hang in there and understand it's a long game, and we started to get a little bit more of, to our game in the second quarter. And in the second half, we just, were able to get a lot more defensive stops that I think took a little bit of pressure off our offense, and then we made some timely plays. I mean, it probably started with, Kevin Love's rebounding and outlet passes. We were able to get some relief points, which is tough to get, against this team. And then a lot of different contributions. Gabe was really good. Jimmy obviously was Jimmy. Max hit some big shots, and then Kyle in the fourth quarter, was so important. We were able to get the ball to him, and he made a lot of important plays. Yeah, no idea. You just don't know. With ankle sprains, I don't even know if we'll know more by tomorrow. We'll just have to see. It'll be a waiting game. But he did not want to come out of the game. So we left him in there.
They had 40 points in the first half.
Yeah.
20 in the second half. What was not going well, and then what did go well?
That number jumped out at halftime. For large parts of the season, we were top of the league in points and paint allowed, and it was around 40, and they got our average in the first half. But that's what they do. They're an aggressive, attacking, assaulting team, and you have to do your work early. You have to put bodies in front, and you have to be able to make plays defensively without fouling, which is a whole lot easier said than done. Considering how aggressive and crafty they are. But at the point of attack, we're much more competitive in the second half. Caleb, Jimmy, Gabe, Bam in his moments, and then Kyle in the fourth quarter made 3 or 4 just veteran, physical, heady plays, savvy plays defensively that you can't really teach. You have to match competitive wills with competitive wills, and Kyle's one of those kind of guys.
The order series was so much offensive against Milwaukee. Does it take a minute when you start the next series to kind of get back to the defense that you sort of need to play in this round?
Yeah, but I wouldn't just assume that each game is going to look like this. We've played these guys 4 times during the regular season, and 2 of the games were in the mud like this, the throwback Heat Knicks that you would expect, and then we had 2 shootouts. Basically, both teams feel confident in their offenses. Both teams can put some pressure on the other team. And in the playoffs, when you're talking about short sample sizes, the game will be whatever it'll be, and you have to just find a way to conquer it. Tonight it was in the mud, particularly in that second half, and unfortunately we were able to make enough plays to get the win.
Can you give us your thoughts on a couple of players you mentioned? Gabe, what he did, especially holding things down early with his early burst, and then Kevin Love, like you said, that spark in the third quarter with those 3, really 4 if you just want, but incredible outlets.
Yeah, the veteran experience and presence that we have on the team really helps. And Kevin is one of those guys. Kyle is one of those guys. They just stabilize everything. It's unspoken, but they give your group confidence. They've been in these situations before. They love to compete. Our entire locker room loves to compete, loves big, massive challenges, and that's what this is. And Gabe is one of those guys as well. And even though he's a young player in the league, we view him like a veteran player. He's been in our program for 3 years now, and he's been a pro for 4 or 5 years. And with the injuries that we've had, with Tyler out and Vic out, we frankly do need Gabe to be more aggressive. And he's doing it within the context of our offense. But we do need him to put some points on the board, or at least make the defense play him. And maybe they make an adjustment, the next game, and he's fit in as a facilitator long enough that he'll be able to play in that role as well. That's a credit to the work that he's put in and how much he's improved in the last 3 years.
I know you touched on it a little bit, but A, what was your first thought when you see Jimmy go down the way he did? B, what kind of impact did that have on the team? The fact that he stays in, he's clearly hurt, he's clearly compromised, but that he's actually
This
adamant
group has been through a lot. We've been through a lot this entire year. And we're not being insensitive, to when guys get nicked up or get hurt. But our group has learned to compartmentalize and focus on the task at hand, and that's what it was. There wasn't an overreaction. We've had enough tears behind the scenes of guys, getting hurt and stuff like that. We have to get the job done. And we've had probably more practice than anybody else, having to step up when guys get hurt. But that certainly is inspiring that he would not come out of the game and to be able to finish the game just infused a bunch of confidence to the rest of the guys that we have to finish this off.
So would you have wanted anyone else to stay in the game in that situation other than Jimmy?
I don't know. Udonis Haslam, probably. I don't want to get beat up on national TV.
Bo, at what point would you potentially have to protect Jimmy from himself?
Yeah, we've been through this, a few times. So each ankle sprain is unique, and you have to evaluate things on a case-by-case basis. He sprained his ankle, several times, with us. I know him. I know when I can look in his eye, and he assured me that he wasn't going to be a liability, and he wanted to stay in there and make sure we get this win. I mean, that's the most important thing. We've had a lot of chaos and a lot of things going on, but main thing being the main thing, we got to secure and get the win. And then we'll figure out what happens in the next 48 hours.
How important is that level of trust that you have with him to know in a moment like there are just any player when they're trying to fight through something that you can kind of...
Yeah, it's one of the things that I really enjoy, about this league, and you're getting a little bit less of it now because there's so much turnover. But I love the long-standing relationships that you can earn that trust. This is not something that Jimmy and I have developed in the last month. This is 4 years plus the bubble, so it feels like 10 years. But like I said, when we can have that look, there's an understanding. Okay, that's different than if it's a new player and you don't have that kind of experience together.
Are you surprised that there wasn't more? I mean, once he's clearly hurt and comes back in, are you surprised there wasn't more, for lack of a better term, matchup hunting, forcing him to guard those however many minutes?
Do you think they were being passive? I did not feel like they were being passive at all. That's not the Knicks.
Offensive rebounding was such a big part of the conversation entering the series. Were you happy with the way you guys handled that portion?
The point of attack is really important, so you can keep bodies on bodies. But again, that's easier said than done. Like, these guys are going to get into cracks, going to break your defense down, and we've developed a lot of those habits all season long. We've been one of the better defense rebounding teams in the league. This team is unique. Robinson is relentless, and they crash multiple guys. Our guys understood that that's a major factor, for us to be able to win.
Is this the best Lowry's played this season?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say this is probably the healthiest he's been. He's an absolute warrior. He's been able to do some amazing things even on one leg this year. But those 5 weeks where he was able to step away and just really focus on getting himself healthy for these kind of moments was critical. But he's a winner. He's just an absolute winner, and when you need him most, that's when he's going to show up. And these kind of environments is at this point in his career, when this place was electric. This is all that Kyle wants at this point in his career are these kind of opportunities in the playoffs, to have a chance to hopefully, win some games in the playoffs.